welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Shawn.
Here we are.
Another
week.
Yeah.
Another book.
As always, yes.
Oh, man.
And we are having a nice fall day
Yeah,
in
it's
Los
beautiful.
Angeles.
Finally.
I am very pleased with that.
Yeah. Not dying.
Yeah,
Of
hopefully
heat.
this sticks around. We were actually able to put away our air conditioner
Yes.
and stuff like that. So
Thank God.
I think,
This big, ugly, gross thing.
yeah, it's just a pain. Well, because it sucks too, because it's
Sucks electricity.
it sucks electricity. Plus, it also just kind of sits. Just sits on this rug and it bunches it up, and much would rather not have it. So, but now I'm glad we were able to put that away, and now we can hopefully get into Thanksgiving.
Your favorite holiday.
My favorite holiday. I'm really looking forward to that.
Do you have any Thanksgiving hopes?
That the food is all delicious, which I already know it's going to be. So,
It's true.
yeah, I look forward to it.
I know. It's your favorite thing.
I will eat a box of stuffing on its own.
Oh, I know.
I'll tell you that way. I'm a big fan of stuffing.
I know. I know. I know. I have to always make like double stuffing for you.
I that's the thing I like.
I know.
I think it's my favorite.
And I never liked stovetop stuff. I don't like stuffing, and especially stovetop. But man, do you love the stovetop. So I just go with it. My mom loves to make everything from scratch. You know that.
Yeah, it's the thing. My mom doesn't make anything from scratch.
Yeah.
We have a box. We have something to to pour. You pour it in a bowl and you mix it, and then you put the corn in the can in the thing. And,
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of things. We do some stuff from scratch.
Sure.
But because there's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
So it's very much like, we gotta, and there's, 4 kids. When I'm growing up, there's, I have my grandparents that lived with us and my parents. And then, so you have 8 people in the house.
Yeah.
That, you're kind of preparing for. So.
Yeah. I think because my mom, my mom's an immigrant. So it was always like she made the most American of Thanksgivings.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of Italian families will have spaghetti or lasagna. Not my family. It is the most basic American Thanksgiving you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
And I have just I just make the same thing that she does.
Yeah.
Exactly the same fucking thing.
And it's usually the same stuff I have too. I mean, we do, we did the peas and the potatoes and stovetop and, cranberry sauce and we never did yams or anything like that, but we're doing yams. So I think we'll talk, maybe we should talk more about Thanksgiving when we get to it, because we actually do have a Thanksgiving themed book.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Which we're finally going to,
I'm actually very excited to read it because,
well, it's a Superboy.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
New Adventures
and
of
I've
Superboy.
already read it, but I mean, I'm excited to talk about it because it's one of those, it's ridiculous, therefore I love it.
Well, not only is it a Thanksgiving themed book, but it's also a New Adventures of Superboy, which is already batshit insane.
Yes.
And those are a treat, and I think it's been a while since we've done a Superboy.
It has.
So I think it's gonna be that's gonna be a good one to hold up on too.
Yeah.
And also, I will say this because we actually got a little bit of a head start on reading some books.
Yeah.
Today, so I think we're gonna do a Cage next week.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
A Cage from the '90s. We're gonna bust that out. So, and we'll get to our book in a little bit where we're doing a Batman book.
We saw Thor.
We did see Thor.
Yeah.
What'd you think of?
You know what? I really enjoyed it, and I am not a huge Thor fan.
Right.
And the last 2 movies were fine. I'm like, whatever. We saw them.
Yeah.
This one was great. I was actually looking forward to this one too, because this one was crazy space opera. Fucking here for it. I'm here for it being weird. Here for it being set in space on weird planets.
Yeah.
And it delivered. And it was funny. It was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really did. I think the only thing that I did, I don't know, there was a little bit too much shit going on, maybe.
Well, there's there's a lot of.
I think that would be
it's kind of like one of those movies where there's
all the things happening.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, one thing I will say this: it does feel like to me that it does stand on its own somewhat.
Yeah.
Because you don't I feel like you can jump into it relatively easily without having to have watched Thor 2 or seen all the Avengers movies or the Iron Man movies. You don't have to have seen every single Marvel movie to appreciate this one.
Right. And I honestly don't really remember much of what happened in Thor 2.
Well, Thor 2, basically Thor 2, because a lot of the characters with Thor 2 aren't in this one.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, there was something with one of the Infinity Stones and London and Natalie Portman was in it, and that's really, and there was a fight
she just laid around for the whole time.
And that's kind of all I remember.
And then, it was just with the basically the dark elves and Loki died and blah,
that's
blah,
right.
blah.
Yeah. So I barely remember anything that happened in that movie. And then you don't need to know anything that happened in that movie to enjoy Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah. No, it was really fun. There's a lot of there's some really cool, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's some really cool homages to some classic Thor moments. Yeah. That maybe you probably I don't know if you caught any of them.
Probably not, no.
But
I don't know much about Thor.
There's some stuff with Scourge the Executioner.
Okay.
I caught it right away and I was like, cool. That's fucking cool. Yeah. And Carl Urban is pretty great. Yeah. Carl Urban's pretty great as Executioner. I want to say too how much the Marvel universe and the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe connects.
Oh yeah,
because just in the sense basically the people because you got Chris Hemsworth who was Kirk's father.
Yes.
Which a lot of people, that's when that was the first time they saw him.
Was it Chris Hemsworth or was it the other Hemsworth?
No, it was Thor. Oh, it was Thor who played Kirk's father in the very beginning of the first Star Trek movie. Okay. Before Thor came out. And you die right away. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's gonna be Thor." We never heard of this. Who's this guy? It's just some guy and some random.
He was a Chris. They were like, "Oh, good, we need Chris."
He was a Hemsworth. He was the first.
He was the first Hemsworth.
He was the Hemsworth Prime. Yes. And then he can't. Then he's in Thor and all the Avengers movies. Everybody's like, "Oh, Chris Hemsworth." I feel those
Hemsworth really they are like sequels because the first one's great. Yeah. And then the next one's okay.
Who was it? There's Chris. There's Liam.
There's another one.
There's a third one.
I think there might even be 4, but the other one's not in Hollywood yet.
Right. There's a third one that's I think just kind of breaking
his
in.
Name. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm behind. I'm behind on my Hemsworth. I know Liam was in a bunch of stuff. Yeah. That I saw.
And he was gonna marry Miley Cyrus or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, but so he. So we got Chris Hemsworth. You got Zoe Saldana.
Oh yeah.
You got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, that's right.
And then you have Carl Urban. Yeah, because he played Bones in that movie. So I feel and maybe there's a few others that I'm missing. But,
there might be,
but it's really kind of neat that kind of crosses over. But at least in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is all together. Yeah, there's some awesome homages there. I think Kate Blanchett as Hela. Is it Hela?
Hela. And
I want to say Hela,
but it's Hela.
It's Hela.
Yeah, she was good.
She was good. She looks hot.
She does.
It's kind of those things where you're like, wow, that's Kate Blanchett. I'm so used to seeing her in British movies or just things that are not Thor. Yeah. And here she is, just looking badass. And she's cool. She's throwing swords out of her hands and just a fucking badass fighter. And
yeah. Well, she's there to be over the top. Yeah. And that's exactly what you want in this movie. Yeah. Because can I also say the music in this movie?
Music was great.
Fantastic. Because it's the guy from Devo who does a lot of
Mark
it.
Mothersbaugh. Yeah. Well, it's not only the songs that the use of the the Led Zeppelin and all that.
But I mean the actual in the background,
the score and stuff.
Score, because it's the guy from Devo and you're just yeah, that's awesome.
It's a very John Carpenter,
it's really cool.
80s. There's a lot of very new wave and just it's
just cool. It's just so fucking cool.
It's very unique. It's very unique to a movie. It just feels different.
It does. And I will say, and this is not really a spoiler because everybody knew that Doctor Strange would show up. Yeah. But when he shows up for the first time, I was like, yes. Yeah. That's fucking cool. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, and they used it. He had a good. He did a tight 5.
Yeah, he did. He was out.
He was in and out, but he played his role, and it was good. Things crossed over, and you're like, hey, it wasn't something which is kind of liked. It wasn't and I feel I don't know if the Marvel movies really do this hardcore, but they don't say, hey, everything's tied in, guys.
Well, yeah, they don't need to.
They don't need to, but it just felt nice to have a little bit of that, and then you move on. Yeah. But I think there's some stuff where I feel like the story kind of drags.
Yeah. I mean, there's some parts where I'm it
gets tied up. It feels like the third act kind of just okay, here we go, boom, we're moving forward with everything.
Yeah, I feel like that second act kind of long. Yeah. And the third one's kind of just it's there and now it's over. Okay, the end. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's some stuff, but. All in all, I really enjoyed it.
And also Jeff Goldblum, fantastic.
I think Jeff Goldblum just showed up and was just Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. I don't think he realized he was in a movie.
He's like, I'm in a movie.
He was just fucking Jeff Goldblum, and he was great.
So I stand over here. This is okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go do karaoke now. Yeah. And you're gonna film it, and it's gonna probably be in this movie. Yeah. And
yeah.
So,
He was fun.
He's a delightful man. He's a delightful addition to this Marvel universe.
He really is. He's really fun.
And I think we're very blessed.
Yeah.
To have him a part of it now. So, but yeah, it was a good movie. What else? So we also, I like talk about movies in the beginning. It gives us something to kind of break the ice with.
Well, what else did we see?
Well, we watched some stuff last night. We watched. We watched Rough Night.
That was stupid. Don't watch it.
That's
killing strippers is never fun. It doesn't matter if it's a male stripper or female stripper. It's not funny. It's stupid. Stop doing it in movies. That's all I have to say.
And it's another thing too, where that movie. So when you do your, just looking it up, the movie was on the blacklist. So the movie, not the TV show, but the movie script.
Yes,
the script for the movie was on a thing called the blacklist, which out in Hollywood, there's this blacklist of scripts that are like, oh my god, these are the best scripts of the year.
Yeah, there's a website.
Yeah.
And shit. And you can actually just pay to put your shit on the blacklist, and like agents read it, and maybe they'll be like, oh my god, this is the best thing. Because I know somebody who got his agent through the blacklist. Like he put his script up there, and then he got an agent that way because they thought it was really good, which is awesome. But I have found, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like any movie that they're like, man, this was on the blacklist, is going to be really great, it's never good. And I don't know if that's who's reading the blacklist, the quality of scripts on the blacklist, or what happens to them after they
as they go through the process.
Right, going through the process. And I don't know, maybe it's all three. I have no idea. But there's so many of them that they're like, this is on the blacklist, and I watch it and I was like, this sucks.
Like I'm watching this movie and I'm like,
this is not funny.
Is it so this is supposed to be this was like a blacklist movie?
Yeah,
like I would be reading like if I was reading the script, I would be like, oh man, this really hits all these notes, and it just feels like a really good movie.
I feel they were just like, man, this is just your typical bachelor party movie, but with chicks.
Yeah, and
I'm like, it's not. I didn't know. It was just dumb.
You got your casts, and you got your comedians, and your your what's her face, Kate McKinnon doing accents, and and fucking what's his face is in there randomly, fucking Speedy or Arsenal.
Oh, Roy.
Yeah, Red Arrow's in there. Roy's in there farting around.
Wearing nothing but like a thong.
Yeah, he's wearing a thong, and so Speedy and Arsenal and Black Widow are hanging out.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, they're
crossing universes.
Yeah, I count it as canon.
Sure, why not?
The Black Widow's...
is that part of the amalgam universe?
Yes. Because Scarlett Johansson's in there. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. It's whatever.
It's whatever, yeah.
But, so we watched that. And then we watched... Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stoppin'.
And that was fucking funny.
That's really funny.
I really enjoyed that. That was ridiculous.
Well, so here's the thing. It's an Apatow-derivative movie. I love Apatow movies. I know there's some of them are hit or miss.
Yeah, no, but this one was really funny. And this was just
It wasn't his movie, but yeah.
It wasn't his, but it was just kind of like...
It was Lonely Island.
It was Lonely Island, and it was just a spoof of music documentaries and Justin Bieber's and, all those boy bands and like all that sort of shit, and it was funny.
Or just crazy personalities, crazy musician
rappers
personalities
and musicians. But it was fun.
Oh, and there's some moments in there that it just cracks me up.
Yeah,
like the TMZ parody.
The TMZ parody is gold.
It's very funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, so I would definitely that was actually on HBO. So if you do have HBO, or if you have a way to see that movie, I would check that out.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a good.
If you just need something stupid to laugh at,
I
would recommend that.
We watched Rough Night, and we were like, I want to watch something better.
Yeah, I just want to watch something that's going to make me laugh.
Yeah, I want something funny, and then we watched that, and we were like, oh, this did it. This was perfect.
Yeah, because I think the problem that I have with a lot of these movies now, like Rough Night, and like what we talked about, that Amy Poehler, Will Ferrell movie the other day.
Oh, yeah, The House, yeah.
There's no consequences for these people.
Yeah.
Nothing makes me angrier. We live in a world where there's literally no consequences for most people. I just want to, in my fiction, I want to see consequences. Let me pretend there is a universe where people do bad shit and those people get in trouble.
I know. We should.
Can I please pretend that? Because I do not live in that universe right now.
I know, we don't live in that universe now.
No, we don't live in that universe right now. Bad shit happens and people just go meh and continue on. Like, I want to see fucking consequences. I don't want to see that, like, people just getting away with shit in my fiction.
because it would make sense, and it would just be nice. It would just be nice at the end of Rough Night. They're just like everybody, like the cops.
And they all fucking go to jail.
Everybody goes to jail, and then they just go to jail, and we just deal with that.
Their careers are ruined, and we're just happy with it.
We deal with that, and we see them, and then we got fucking and then there's like a podcast at the end trying to clear them, and it doesn't. Nothing happens.
It's a serial-like podcast.
Serial, yes.
Yeah.
But Popstar is really good, so you should check that out. Good. So I guess we should take our break.
Oh, I suppose.
Did you have anything else you want to say about movies or things that we've seen?
I was actually just thinking about American Vandal when you talked about...
we should talk about American Vandal real quick.
Because on Netflix, it's American Vandal, and it's basically like a kind of like a rib of Serial.
And like Making of a Murderer.
But it's just this like these two very earnest kids trying to figure out who drew 27 dicks on 27 cars.
Yeah, at a school.
And it's just basically...
Because it's based in high school, yeah.
It's a 10-episode dick joke.
Yeah.
And it's funny. And it's not super funny, but there's definitely, like, you see these people and you're like, oh, I remember that guy from high school.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. You're watching it,
like,
and me and Jen are just like, I knew a guy like that. I knew a dude. I knew that girl. I knew that. I mean, and it kind of hits it too, where it's like the message at the end is kind of like you have high school and people just define people from high school, but is that necessarily
true?
Is that true?
Right.
Is that always true? So, but
it's enjoyable if you just want something to like binge watch and you want to kind of like giggle over some dick jokes.
It's really there's some cool. I don't know. I thought it was really well done.
I thought it was too, and I feel like it really hits that what it's like to be in high school. Like the shit that's important to you in high school. Because there's like a whole, and this is like in episode 2, there's a whole thing where they're just trying to find out if one guy lied about hooking up with a girl. And it becomes like a big thing because that's what everybody's talking about. And you're like, I remember that.
Yeah,
like in high school, whenever no, it's just a lot. You hear that so and so hooked up with so and so,
and then like because that person would just walk around and say, "Yeah, man, I did it," but like you couldn't.
There's no proof.
There's no proof that it happened.
It's just like this, maybe it did, maybe it didn't type of shit. It's just crazy.
There's no proof that it did happen, but there's no proof that it didn't happen.
Right, and no one's really saying anything.
And nobody wants to say anything.
But everybody's fucking talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, my God. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about that. Yeah, but it's not even for just hooking up, too. It's just like anything. Just any fucking rumor.
Yeah, it's, oh, man, like I went to this party or I did this thing. And you're just like, oh, man, like I remember what that was like.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things that I'm just like, oh, kids are exactly the same. Because I've been out of high school for almost 20 fucking years at this point because I am an old person.
Yeah.
And except they have cell phones now. They have smartphones and they have the internet, but it's all the fucking same. It kind of makes me feel okay. Like the kids are going to be all right. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite good. So check that out.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is there anything else? So I feel like we've watched a lot of stuff.
I don't know.
Or you just kind of take it. Granted, I also just watch a ton of wrestling.
We're watching wrestling right now.
I actually, you know what?
It's on the TV.
And I watch it. I think
it's always fucking on.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's fine. It's just my life is wrestling TV.
It can always not be.
I don't care, actually. I don't mind. I just think it's funny because every single time I'm like, I come in or whatever, there's just, and it's not current wrestling. We're talking like wrestling from like 1984. 30 years ago. Like,
yeah. And that's what I watch. That's what I'm like. That's my time.
However, sometimes it's really fun. Like you'll see Ric Flair in a huge robe and you're like, man, people should bring the robe back.
He's got really nice robes.
I love a robe.
He had this green. He has this green and
it's got feathers on it.
Brown feathered robe.
It's fucking
with
cool.
Like gold sequins and probably some crystals and
probably got some embroidery on the backs of his name.
It's gorgeous,
and
it's I would wear it. I would sleep in it. I would just live my life in it, and you would have to be like, you'd have to deal with it.
If I ever learned how to sew, I'd make you a big robe. It would probably take me a few years, though.
Yeah, I know.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. I don't know how long it took Mr. Wrestling 2's wife to create Ric Flair's robes. But,
well, I mean, if that's all she did with her time.
Well, her husband was a wrestler. He probably
and she was getting paid serious money to make it for him.
Yeah, because they're like a couple
grand.
More than that.
10 grand.
10, well, at least that's all Flair would say, but I think that's legit.
Well, probably, because, I mean, he like the materials and the time.
Yeah.
So if that's all she did, she could probably turn around somewhat quickly. Yeah. But if she had no other job.
Which, by the way, there's a Ric Flair documentary coming out, the ESPN one of those 30 for 30s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, they've been talking about it. I have to. I'm not gonna. I don't know how I'm gonna see it. Well, but because I don't watch ESPN, I don't have ESPN. But
maybe they'll put them back on Netflix.
Maybe. I mean, at some point, I gotta find a way to get it because it comes out this week.
Does Joe have Netflix? Or I mean, ESPN?
Ooh, maybe Joe could help me.
Could you
maybe
guys
my co-host?
Maybe you guys could watch it together and then do I can talk kayfabe about it.
Maybe we should. I think I'm gonna. I will text my buddy Joe and I will see. I'll text Joe Todaro from I Can Talk Kayfabe and see if we can get that to work because maybe. I think we should do that.
Yeah, and then you guys can do a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking.
Yeah, good job.
Smart.
Also, real quick, I did watch the movie Shocker, but I want you to watch it. It's Mitch Pileggi that comes back from the dead. Skinner.
Mitch Pileggi comes back from the dead?
I told you this. It's the one where he plays a murderer. He plays a stab monster.
And
he makes a deal with the devil, so when he gets electrocuted, he comes back into your TV and he just, we have to watch it.
All right.
I feel really bad that I watch it by myself because I was just like, I've always wanted to see it and I was just like, I'll watch it. But now I was like, Jen would really appreciate this. So we're going to have to.
I want to see Walter Skinner stabbing people.
You're going to like it.
Well, I'm sure I am.
You're gonna have a good time. We're gonna make sure we do that. And we're gonna make sure. I think maybe next week if we can fit it in, we'll have to talk about it.
Okay, that sounds good.
That's a plan, man. We're planning so much ahead. Man, I feel good about myself. All right. Let's take our break and we'll come back with our book.
Hi, this is Batman. Whenever I lose my memory, I head over to the BatmanUniverse.net and check out the podcast Bat Books for Beginners. The Bat Books for Beginners podcast breaks down and analyzes all of my adventures so I can remember how to get to the Batcave, which Robin I'm working with, and where I parked the Batmobile. Chris and Jerry, the hosts of Bat Books for Beginners, are honest about how well I'm serving the citizens of Gotham. Sometimes too honest, I'll have to talk to them about that. If you wake up one morning and think you might be Batman and have just lost your memories, go over to the BatmanUniverse.net or iTunes and check out Bat Books for Beginners. Now, if I could just figure out who this old man cleaning the Batcave is, that would be great. I asked my friend Scott Snyder, and he didn't know. Don't be a supervillain. Visit the BatmanUniverse.net and listen to Bat Books for Beginners, also on iTunes. You'll be glad you did.
Bat Books for Beginners is part of the BatmanUniverse.net Bat family of podcasts. Don't listen to Bat Books for Beginners when operating heavy machinery or juggling. If you listen to Bat Books for Beginners for more than 4 hours, call your doctor. Bat Books for Beginners is part of a balanced diet.
All right, we're back here in our worst collection ever with our book for this week. It is Batman Hollywood Night.
Yup.
Number 1 from April 2001.
It's an Elseworld.
It is an Elseworld, so...
And we had talked about this before, where we had bought the set when we went down to Anaheim of Batman in... LA.
Hollywood. Well, LA, because we were talking about, did this ever exist?
And it did. It's right here. We have it.
It really is, but it's not quite Batman.
Well, we'll talk about it.
So, but basically on the cover here, you got Batman, and it's very, the cover, the font and everything kind of really feels like...
cartoon.
Yeah, it feels like Batman Adventures kind of thing.
It really does. It looks like a Looney Tune font, at least the Batman.
Yeah.
And then Hollywood Night is in script.
Yeah.
So he's standing on top of a marquee, but here's what I didn't understand, because it's this is issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, we have the marquee says now showing week 2 of this new serial, Batman and the Czar of Crime.
Yeah.
Why week 2?
Why not? Because here's the thing. Because as we'll talk about, this is an established thing that's been.
Yeah, but it could just be new serial. Because this is a new. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that this is week 2, but issue 1. I don't know.
It didn't really bother me.
Okay,
but
I'm just being picky.
Yeah. Well, there's also it's also done by Bob Layton and Dick Giordano, so this has got some old school creators behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So Dick Giordano. I think Dick Giordano is no longer with us.
Yeah.
So, but it's very old school deal.
Is this what this is supposed to be called?
It says Tinseltown Terror.
Yeah, it's a weird place for it.
Well, it's on a window pane and stuff.
So we open in black and white, and it says 1948 Southern California.
Yeah.
And we have Batman, and he is fighting some heavies. And and we have some narration boxing over it. Somebody's talking. It says, "Oh, the Batman, I hate him. what the fuck's going on with this masked rodent.
We gotta stop this dude.
We gotta stop him. And, you know, Batman and Robin are taking down these heavies in what looks like a warehouse. It's all black and white, except for the green boxes. And then...
So they're watching it, and some of the boxes saying, oh, golly, Ballet Boy, I think we're in trouble, because Robin's there, and they're making fun of it. And it says, gosh, Batman, it looks like our tights are about to become as flat as our dialogue.
Yeah.
And then it's because they're about to be crushed by, like, a pallet.
Yeah. And then it says, enough lights. And then that's when you realize somebody's been watching this.
Yes.
On the movie screen, and there's like a butler, and there's a guy with like who's like obviously the leader, and there's like a scary dude in a hat.
Well, this dude with the rose on him, this lead dude, I believe, is Jack Napier.
Yes.
Who used to be called the Joker.
But don't ever call him that.
But don't call him the Joker, because he does not like joking.
No. But he's very upset because this Batman serial that we were just watching on the movie has been taking away viewers from his movies.
Yeah?
Because he runs, like, Arkham Studios.
Batman does?
No.
Or this
Jack
guy does?
Napier.
Napier does.
Yeah,
okay.
Because he even says, like...
Okay, yeah, that's right.
He says, we can't allow an independent to break Arkham's stranglehold on film distribution. He's like, we gotta stop the Byron Wyatt.
Is it Wyatt? Okay.
Wyatt.
Oh, he's one of the Wyatt brothers.
He's a Wyatt brother.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the one who doesn't have crappy hair.
Is he brother Abigail?
Yes. He's Father Abigail.
Father Abigail.
Father Abigail. So basically, he's just pissed because this upstart, Mr. Byron Wyatt, has made all these Batman movies that people really love. And it's fucking with his business.
Hey, man. People love comic books. The comic book boom was hot.
And
the sun is far, but I'm hot.
Pretty much. You. So he's like yelling at the guy.
Who's this big guy?
Oh,
Is this
he's
big
got a
guy?
hat on.
Well, here's the thing. This is one of the first things I want to say here. That's really frustrating. Is a lot of people here, like, they call each other by like their initials.
Yeah.
So you don't really know. I mean, you know who people are, but you have a hard
kind of guess.
But you kind of have to guess, and it's
because
kind of
some
frustrating.
of them are real people and some of them are fictional characters.
Yeah.
So it's a little strange.
Yeah.
The way it's laid out. So he's like yelling at this guy. He's like, we got to take him out. And the butler's like, we really need to be on the up and up because we're already under investigation. And the guy in the hat, what does he want?
Well, here's something. The Napier guy's like, don't call me the Joker. And then he pulls out a gun. And he's like, you're going to be dead if you do it again. But he's still like, does he like cock the gun or does he actually shoot him? Like with no bullets?
I think he cocks it because the guy just pushes it aside. He's like, understood. So then we're on the set.
Yeah, we're on the set of Gotham Pictures.
Mr. Byron Wyatt and who's the guy who plays
I forget
Robin?
what this guy's name.
They call him Rob.
Yeah.
He's bald, by the way.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Lobot from the Empire Strikes Back.
So he wears a piece when he's as Robin, which I think is kind of fun. That's a fun little detail, I thought.
But apparently he's like the tough, like, stunt man.
Yeah, he's kind of like a stunt guy for a long time.
He kind of reminds me of when they're filming Radioactive Man on The Simpsons, and they had Millhouse's.
That's right. His stunt double.
And he's like, "Oh, I have this Millhouse when I get hurt." I just imagine that's what this guy does.
Yeah.
But
he's a better driver than Byron Wyatt.
He's pretty much better than Batman.
He was like in the war or something. And some lady's like, Mr. Wyatt, you got a phone call. And they're just like, hey, it's me, some random woman calling to tell you that...
well, she's the woman that's calling. I represent National Comics.
Oh, that's right.
I represent...
Bob Kane's interest.
Bob Kane's interest. Bob Kane.
Yup, his copyright.
Yeah, Bob Kane getting...
This is before we were going to mention Bill Finger at all.
Yeah, this is before we're getting fingered. We're just getting caned.
Finger got fingered.
Finger definitely got fingered.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is well before that. We're just getting caned.
Yeah. Somebody's trying to buy the licensing for Batman, but we're not going to let that happen. We're happy with what you're doing. We're sticking with you. But watch your back because someone's after you. Because this apparently, this used to happen in 1948. People just call up and be like, watch your back.
Oh, man, that's what Twitter does now.
Yeah, that's just all Twitter now.
Now it's just every
now
day.
It's just memes.
Now it's just memes. Watch your back.
It's just a meme,
okay.
like somebody's back with like eyes on it. That's all it is.
It's just me looking at somebody's back.
Yeah. No, that's a warning. So then Napier's fucking over some actor in the next thing because he finds out that he didn't get to do it the legal way with buying the rights to Batman, and then he fucks over an actor. I don't know who that guy's supposed to be.
What's this guy?
Yeah. So this is Napier.
Because he calls him CG.
Clark Gable.
Gable?
That's him. Look at him.
Oh, it is Clark Gable.
And it's Clark Gable getting fucked. Did he get fucked?
Sure.
I'm trying to remember if he had like a really weird fucking contract for a while.
Well, maybe.
I don't remember. There's all that.
Let's consult Karina Longsworth.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. That Hollywood podcast. What's it called?
You must
again?
remember this.
You must remember this. They do talk about Clark Gable.
Gilbert Gottfried would know about this.
Yeah, well, they talk about Clark Gable in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to, and I listened to it. I just don't remember. I feel like he got a lot of leeway, but at the beginning he got kind of fucked. Like all of them got fucked. By the way.
Yeah.
If you really want to hear
back in the 40s, you just got fucked.
Yeah, if you really want to hear how fucking exploitative the film industry was back then,
yeah, we
probably
got good
worse
now.
than now.
Yeah.
Listen to that podcast because holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's shit going down before we had any sort of medias.
Yeah,
all the medias we have. And
real
stuff got shady.
People got real fucked up.
And that's the thing. That's when you got those phone calls. Watch your back. You're like, oh, okay, I better watch my back. You know, now you just don't. Now you just send them a meme.
Yeah, now you send them memes.
Just send them a meme, and you go, hey, here's a meme, and they go, fuck.
And then they just
got me.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then, you had to actually watch your back, watch your front, watch your back.
Yeah. So he fucks over Clark Gable, and then he says to him, "This makes more sense. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." And he starts laughing, and he goes, "God, I've always wanted to say that."
So they're about
he fucks over Clark Gable.
Yeah. So he fucks over Clark Gable. We go back on the set, and they're doing
driving the Batmobile.
Well, they're doing a Batmobile. They're doing a stunt. They're filming a scene. This story is very exposition-y.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of like, man, I'm Batman. I'm playing Batman, but here are my problems, Robin actor. You know, and he's a lot of times like he's this guy that Byron Wyatt is kind of like, well, I'm a pampered millionaire.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Things are difficult.
Byron Wyatt is a rich guy who just really loves Batman, so he's decided to purchase the rights to Batman, or purchase the film rights. And make Batman serials because he just loves Batman.
So imagine
this is
basically Kevin Smith.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith being like, I love Batman. I'm just going to make my own Batman movies.
Yeah. And
Hollywood ain't going to be able to make their own movies.
Yep.
About Batman. It's just me and
me
and Muse as Batman.
Yeah. Batman and Robin, that's it.
Jane and Silent Bob are Batman and Robin, and that's it.
So as they're doing this thing, all of a sudden one of the tires blows. It falls off the car. He hits like a guy on the light tower who almost dies.
Yeah.
And Robin, or the guy who plays him being like a fucking badass, just like climbs up and saves him and like does all this cool heroic shit. And then he's like, man, that was so great. If only I had the guts to do that. And Robin's like, hey, at least you have hair. Ha jokes.
Ball jokes.
And he's like, but I've been doing movie effects long enough to know that this was intentional. Somebody did this on purpose.
Yeah.
So some Jimmy Olsen looking kid wanders off to use the phone.
Oh, that is Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
He's like,
to call and be like, hey boss, the stunt didn't work.
I like that this is before cell phones.
Yeah.
So now he has to
go find a phone.
Before any port you have to be like, excuse me, I'd like to use your rotophone.
And she actually says don't make any long distance calls.
He's like, no, I'm just gonna make a call, tell somebody that I tried to kill Batman and it didn't work.
So then we're at a club, the Kit Kat Club, and Byron's...
Oh, it's kind of like Catwoman.
Yeah. Byron's there with some hot babe.
Yeah, babes.
And bald guy's there with some babe. I don't think they have names.
Bald guy.
And they're like, hey, let's dance. Good idea. And then they run into EF. And they're like, hey, man, wearing those tights. And EF is like, yeah, I'd love to wear long pants, too.
And he goes, EF, he goes, Byron Wyatt, it's been ages. How old are you old? It's been ages, old boy. How are things? He's like, I'm managing EF for a guy who makes movies wearing his underwear on the outside. And he's like, tell me about it. I'd give anything for a script that put me in long pants.
So we're thinking EF is Errol Flynn.
Errol Flynn because he played
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So.
And then doesn't he try to like cut in on Byron's girl? And he's like, oh, well, no, because you won't give her back when you're done. Gross.
Oh.
So then they go back to the table and there's like all these like
The mobsters.
There's mobsters there and like, get out of our table. And they're like, nah. And so then there's a fight.
They're like, we have an offer. And he's like, fuck your offer.
Yeah, fuck your offer. Now let's fight.
Let's fight in the club.
So they do.
And like, fucking Robin is just hauling ass on these guys.
He just fucking annihilates everyone.
It's great. He's kind of like, it's like this. He has like hair like Arn Anderson. He's just laying waste to these dudes.
Yeah.
And Batman's kind of like,
meh.
kind of like, I wanted to do better, but I didn't.
Yeah, every single time anything happens, he's like, man, I wish I did better. You're like, shut up.
Kind of like Bruce Wayne on Gotham.
Kind of, yeah.
Which, by the way,
oh, good.
Gotham.
Good Lord. Fucking Gotham. I'm so angry at Gotham. Can I just stop and talk about Gotham for a second? Let me tell you something about Gotham. So, I understand that this is a weird universe, but the problem that I have with it is the rules that they establish for it sometimes work, and then sometimes they don't, and you never know what's going to happen. So it's like, sometimes they'll be like, hey, Bruce Wayne can't do anything because he's controlled by the board. There was a whole season about the board and the controlling interest.
Yeah.
And Bruce not being old enough and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And now, what the fuck just happened in this one? Oh, Bruce Wayne can just walk up to a dude who owns a club and buy it with a handshake. No lawyers. No nothing. No contracts.
Just literally walks up to a guy and goes, I'm Bruce Wayne. And he goes, fine, you want this club? Take it.
Yeah, I'll buy this club now.
Even if Batman Begins, he wrote a check.
Yeah. No, he bought it with a handshake. He's 15. And then he's like, hey, other underage kids, you want to come in and drink openly? Like, that's not a fucking problem.
There's so much underage drinking. Are we supposed to automatically believe he's 18?
I don't know. He gets very drunk in that episode.
Yeah, I know. So are we supposed to...
And he makes out with that girl.
He does. Yeah, he makes out with that girl.
But I'm just like...
hanging out with...
but whatever happened to the board and like people being in control of his trust until he's old enough?
They're all in the basement with Lucius.
So none of that matters okay. All right, whatever. That's fine.
Because we can't worry about that stuff because we have to focus on Barbara and her weird hair.
She's got terrible hair. She's got Callista Gingrich hair. She looks like Newt Gingrich's. It's just the most. She looks like the wife of a Republican senator. And I'm like, who hates you enough to put you in that wig?
I know, which is funny because they must love that fucking character because she's died like 30 million times.
I know,
and they're just like, we gotta keep her coming back.
Maybe that's the wig person's just like, I'm over this character. Give her the worst wig.
Maybe this wig will kill her character.
Because it's the worst.
Maybe it's like that Simpsons where Homer gets Snake's hair. I'm making Snake's I'm making Simpsons references. I can't help it.
Well, no, it's fine. And maybe it is.
Maybe it relates to the world. But anyways,
it's fine because you're right. It's just the worst wig. I'm just like, who put that on your head?
Or it's just a hairstyle. I don't think it's a wig.
I think it's a wig.
You think it's a wig?
I think it's a wig.
Do you think she's bewigged?
Yeah, I think she's bewigged.
Bewigged.
It doesn't move. I don't know if it's just like.
And also, there's the usual. One thing that Gotham does stick to is that Jim Gordon is the absolute worst cop in the history of enforcement.
Yes, but every single episode, somebody has to tell me what a great guy Jim Gordon is.
I've never seen it.
No one thinks Jim Gordon is great. I realize
I've watched every episode of the show, and I have yet to find one redeeming quality in Jim Gordon on Gotham.
Yeah, not only this time it was Jim goes, "Hey Harvey, maybe you shouldn't go in there because I think it's a trap." And Harvey's like, stand down, Jim, fuck you, I'm going in anyway. So Harvey goes in, gets a lot of people killed.
Yeah. Actually, it was Harvey's fault.
It was Harvey's fault, absolutely, that's fine. And then Jim comes in and he stops a machine gun. And everybody's like...
Jim comes in to fucking... He does he's like fucking Rambo.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, action hero. There's these automatic turrets that are just spraying the room, and somehow Jim is like.
But Harvey is dying. Harvey is the only one who's not getting hit by all the bullets.
He's the one that's got the most surface area. He should be getting hit.
He'd get hit first.
He should be. Harvey.
He was also in the front.
If there's an automatic turret machine gun going off, Harvey'd be fucking missed. He would just be a fucking pile of bloody mist.
Yeah.
Because you can't give me. I mean, look, I love Donald Logue, but you can't tell tell me that the guy that looks like Donald Logue
he's not a slip of a man.
Yeah. He's not,
he's not like hugely fat or whatever, but I mean, you put a guy like that in the front of a whole bunch of cops and he's the first one that sees the automatic turret gun, that dude's dead.
Yeah.
Because he's first in line and, big.
He's a bigger dude.
He's
not even dressed in tactical gear. He's just walking into the suit. He's like, hey, guys.
That dude should be dead.
He should be dead.
Nope.
He should have dead a lot of times.
Don't worry about him. So...
Did we also talk...
Hold on. And then Jim comes in and he stops the gun and everyone's like, you're a hero, Jim
Yeah, I know.
Gordon. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Fuck this show.
Fuck this show. Jim Gordon just happened to be the guy who stopped the gun. Any one of the cops outside could have done the same thing.
Well, two other things for Gotham. Who was the guy, the black dude that was there?
I'm shit, on his name. Wanderer, Warrior?
No, he had a name.
He did.
Scalp Hunter? No. Mad Hunter?
Mad Hunter. Something Hunter.
Something Shoot. He was some dude.
It was basically like a 90s character who only showed up a couple times.
He literally showed up in like two issues of like, it was like just around or maybe during Nightfall or Night Quest or whatever. Yeah.
And he had like the gun belts. He had we looked him up and they actually got his costume pretty well. But he's got two guns.
Yeah.
And he's got like the bullet belts like across his chest.
Yeah.
He's got exactly cargo pants with more bullets and stuff. He's got all the pockets.
He's got all the weapons.
And the minute he shows up, you're like, that guy's gonna die.
Because
he was just like, hey, it's me. He's the only guy who knew he was in Gotham.
Yeah.
And he was just making the most of it. He's like, ha ha, I'm here. Come, boo 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 boo. This is why I shoot twice. Ha 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 ha. Mowed down and killed.
Yeah. No, he got he got killed, right?
Oh, yeah, he died.
Oh, no, that's right, because the fucking Penguin fucking stabbed him.
That's right. Penguin stabbed him.
Because the Penguin, apparently, this is what drives me nuts, too, is that the Penguin, like, I understand the Penguin, the character has been around for a long time, and the Penguin is just a fat Penguin guy.
Yeah.
And... he has been in probably many precarious situations. So it's hard. So it's always like when I see dudes like that and I'm like, how is that guy able to live?
Yeah.
And like.
Usually it's because they have muscle. Not like their physical muscle. They have dudes that they pay.
Apparently so.
That's muscle.
That's how he keeps doing. That's how they keep, not dying.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
So we focused on that. And then also I wanted to bring up I think it was from last week, not this past episode, but the episode before where Jim was tied to the chair.
Oh God.
And then he, in order to save Harvey, he's
tied to a chair on in a factory.
He's in a factory and he's on like a higher, like a second floor.
But it's like one of those floors that just ends.
Yeah.
And it just drops straight down.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're still in the building. Almost like an unfinished building, like it hasn't been built yet.
Yeah.
Completely built. So it's like that. So he's trying to save Harvey. He's tied to a chair with his back to the drop. Right? And what does he do? He just goes, fall. And he just pushes himself off the edge. He doesn't know what fucking floor he's on. He doesn't know how long that drop is.
No, he doesn't.
But that's what he does to free himself.
He falls
just falls about 20 feet on his back, tied to a chair, and he's fine.
He's fine. Which, look, if you did that, you'd fucking break your wrist or something.
You'd break something.
You'd break something. You'd break an arm. You'd fucking dislocate an elbow.
Do something.
Jim's just like, I'm fine. I'm like, God damn it. This is a stupid show.
Fuck this show.
Speaking of stupid, we're back to this book, and basically, Robin and Batman's like,
this is where we find out that Byron was just like, man, I grew up rich, and I just really admired Bruce Wayne. I used to fantasize that I was Bruce Wayne, and that's why.
So Bruce Wayne exists in this universe,
but he is a fictional character.
Yes,
and this rich Byron Wyatt. Used to fantasize that he was Bruce Wayne because he just really related to Batman.
Those are people that Batman's mentally ill. This guy's also mentally ill.
Well, I mean, when you're a kid, who doesn't want to be Batman?
I guess.
When you're a kid.
But then to be like, I just want to... Well, I guess, okay, he's acting.
Yeah, he's acting. He's an actor. I get it. And he's like, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I make these movies, because I just really love Batman.
It's weird. It's kind of weird because I'm so used to when a guy's like, I'm a millionaire and I'm Batman, I'm so used to him just being like
an ass,
a crime fighter, and this guy's just like, but he's just an actor.
He's just an actor, yeah.
And it's just the situation is,
who's portraying Batman.
He's portraying Batman. So I think I'm being too hard on him.
Maybe. So they get in the car, they drive away.
They're back on set.
Yeah. So the next day, they're like, okay, we're gonna go out into the desert because we need to film something out there. So everybody loads up and goes out.
We need to film some sort of like an
old-timey,
like a desert town,
old west town
for some
old
reason.
Rush town.
Because it's Batman is like, I do like this panel here where basically there's this part where everybody's like, hey, I heard that we're going to be shutting down. You know, these big mobsters and money guys are trying to push us out. And you know, and he has this panel where he literally says, besides the people love Batman and want to see him up on that screen. And as long as I'm alive, they will.
Yeah.
And it's like, Ben Affleck right now. You know, it's basically, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to go out to the desert and shoot something. Nothing bad's going to happen.
Not in the desert.
Even though, because in the because mobsters don't go to the desert.
No, nobody goes
to bury bodies all the time.
No, not at all. Like, I often wonder, like, how many bodies are out there?
Oh, yeah.
Like, on the road between here and Vegas, like, how many fucking bodies are out there? Not just people who got killed, but just people who got fucking lost.
Yeah.
Because we hear about that a lot. Like, they'll be just like, oh, 2 people disappeared out by Joshua Tree National Park because, like, you just go off the trail and you get lost.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dead people out there.
That's the key, man. Never go outside.
Well, that's true. Never go outside, especially in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Napier hears about this and he's like, okay, that's it. We're going to go out there. And wouldn't it just be too bad if that whole set burned to the ground in the desert where there's no water to put it out?
So I like this series of panels because, like, they're basically like, hey, we should go out there and set fire in the desert. They're like, hey. And then, like, Napier's like, hey. And then the other guy just lights a match.
Yeah.
He goes, ha-ha. I'm like,
fire, guys.
He's like, fire. So they go out. They're in Death Valley.
So they're going to do this scene where the Batmobile drives into town and then it gets shot at. Okay?
Is he driving to Fantasy Island?
Yes. And they're like, you're supposed to rescue Robin, but Robin's actually not here today. And they're like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
because,
where did Robin go?
Well, he's not in this scene, so he doesn't need to go out. It's just the idea that he's going to rescue him. Like, everything else can probably be filmed back on set in LA.
Yeah, but Robin's a stunt coordinator, and like Batman, Batman's like,
fuck it, we don't need him.
He's like, I could be pretty good too. I could do it, Mark.
Yeah. So he gets in the thing, and he's like places, and everyone goes to their places except there's a bunch of mobsters. Everybody gets knocked out, and they've got gas and bullets. And so as Batman or Byron is approaching the town, he sees that it's on fire, and he's like, "Oh no!" He says, "Oh Lord, no,
no!"
in like big letters. And then he drives into town, and everybody's getting murdered.
Yeah, everybody's getting shot to death. It's actually kind of very.
It's really dark.
This is actually really terrifying because it's like, hey,
these people are just doing their job, man.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, I'm a key grip, and you're like, no, you're dead now.
He's like, I'm just best boy, not anymore.
No, you're best corpse.
And now we're gonna pour gasoline on your fucking body and burn, and set it on fire because that's what they do to all these people.
Oh my god, it's awful.
It's
don't
really
ever work in the film industry.
Just don't ever work.
You know what? Just don't work. Stay in your house all day.
Yeah, it's not fair. You just go to work, somebody kills you, and then lights your body on fire.
And you're just trying to make a Batman film.
Hey, you don't really care if it's a Batman film. You just want to be able to pay your rent.
Yeah.
You don't really give a shit. You could be working on the emoji.
Your freelance gig.
Yeah, you could be working on the fucking Emoji Movie. It doesn't matter because that is paying your rent. That's all that matters.
You don't want to be set on fire while working on the Emoji movie.
Nobody wants to go down like I died working on the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, they'll be on your tombstone. Your tombstone will just be emoji. It'll just be a tombstone emoji.
Wait, is this like a piece of paper with the tombstone emoji on it?
Yes. Yes, it's good. Somebody's and
it gets really soggy.
Oh, it's gonna be a digital screen of the tombstone emoji. Actually, can I have that?
Yeah.
Can I have my tombstone be a digital screen
of the tombstone emoji?
Of the tombstone emoji.
I mean, is there a tombstone emoji?
And when people walk by and it talks to you and he goes, "Hi."
Wait, want your face to pop up?
Well, I want my voice to be in it.
Oh,
I want the tombstone to have eyes and a mouth.
Is there a tombstone emoji?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Maybe.
And just be like, "Hello, I died."
You just want your tombstone to tell people you died, just in case the tombstone wasn't enough of a clue.
Well, you want people to be sure. They don't want people to be like, "Is that guy dead?" Like, he's dead.
Is that guy who's buried dead?
Is that guy who's buried dead?
Well,
I don't know. Some big people get buried alive.
They used to back in the day. That's where the phrase "saved by the bell" comes from. You know that? So a long time ago, people weren't sure when people were dead, so they would bury them, and sometimes they weren't dead. So because this became such a fear, they used to have bells with a rope that went into the coffin. So if you just happened to come to in a coffin, you could ring it.
Oh.
So that's where Saved by the Bell comes from.
Oh shit! So is that what happened to Zach Morris? And
Yes.
Shit?
Yes.
Is there an episode of Saved by the Bell where Mr. Belding buries Zach Morris alive?
Yes, there is.
And uses
And
a bell.
he rings the bell.
Rings the bell, and they go, "Man, you were Saved by the Bell," which is the name of the show.
Well, that's because I was watching that lore show that was in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were talking about how like some guy's family kept dying, I think of like typhus or typhoid fever or something. So they were like, well, since like literally everyone in your family has died of this, if you want to save your last remaining child, we have to dig up all your relatives.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when they would do that back in the day, because they were like, oh, it's a demon. So we got to dig up the people to make sure they're actually dead, but there would be like claw marks on the inside of the coffin. So that's when they got like the ding ding the bells.
Good.
Now we know people are dead.
I hope so.
But or your tombstone can tell them.
I want a digital tombstone with the tombstone emoji.
Okay.
That has the eyes on the mouth.
I thought you wanted a Dr. Fate helmet.
I want Dr. Fate. I want a Dr. Fate helmet.
Because I thought you were being cremated and I was going to put you in a Dr. Fate helmet. I could put a digital tombstone emoji on the back, maybe.
Oh, shit.
Might kind of fuck up your helmet.
I have a choice to make.
You really do.
I have a non-existent choice to make.
Which one would you rather have?
Sean, are you planning for your passing? Yes, I am.
I still just want you to drop me in a ditch.
Drop you in a ditch.
Well, I don't care. I'm dead. Why are we spending money?
This was her wish.
She just wanted to
Let me take her.
She wanted to decay in this ditch.
Where's the ditch? I don't know. Just the nearest ditch? Do you have a specific ditch?
Hey, between here and Vegas is fine.
Oh, okay.
How about up by Zizix?
You want to go by Zizix? Okay.
I want to go up by Zizix.
All right. Let's do Zizix. Let's do a Zizix.
I love a good Zizix.
Let's do Zizix Gulch.
Yeah, just drop me off with there. And I pin a note to me that says died of natural causes. So no one will think I was murdered.
Died of things.
No one will think I was murdered when they stumble across my body.
Yeah, I don't want Karina Longworth doing a story about you.
Yeah, I don't want to end up on My Favorite Murder, but just turned out I just like died of old age. Or choked on a sandwich, or
oh god,
fell down some stairs.
Oh god, that's my worst fear.
Choking on a sandwich?
Yeah, just choking.
You gotta chew.
You know, because I love food.
Smaller bites.
But sometimes I eat a lot of it at once.
Smaller bites and chew.
Oh god. Oh god. All right. Well,
where were we? Oh yeah,
we're back to these people being murdered.
These people being murdered.
I was gonna be like, let's get back to something more cheerful. These guys are people murdered. Well, actually, there's a still with Jimmy Olsen's like he's like, hey, look,
yeah,
I forgot
he was
you to get Batman. He's like, you're dead too.
Yeah, they're like, not you too, Stoolie, and they shoot him. So then Batman shows up and they punch him in the back of the head.
That's right.
And then they're like, no, kill him. And they shoot him in the back of the head.
They shoot him in the back of the head in Batman v Superman.
Point blank range. This fucker gets shot in the head at point blank range.
And here's the thing. So I'm reading this book and I'm like, okay, that's the last page, right?
There's more pages.
There's more story.
No. So they're like, should we burn him? And they're like, nah, send a message. Just leave him here in this burning town.
Napier wants the vultures to pick him apart.
Yeah, I'm assuming if he was just like in the middle of a flaming street, he probably would have caught on fire too. But you never know. Fire's kind of weird. It's finicky. It might have missed him.
So the town burns.
And some guy rides up
Batman's
on a horse.
Okay. Batman's just laying there.
And he checks his pulse and puts him on the horse and rides away.
Yes. And in the last panel.
And then we find him in a cave. It says several days pass until he wakes up. We meet Al Penny.
That's
right, guys. Al Penny, who's a circus man.
Mm-hmm.
Living in this mine.
He's a carny.
He's a
mountain living carny.
And he says, oh, you know what? I know a guy who that happened to. Got shot in the back of the head in WW1.
Uh-huh.
And lived. So can you remember anything? What's your name? He can't remember anything. All he remembers is that he is Batman.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So now he has amnesia and he thinks he's Batman.
Oh, boy.
So that's the end of that issue.
That's it.
Yeah.
For Batman Hollywood Night issue 1 of 3 from April 2001.
Yeah.
This is an Elseworlds, so do not take any of this for canon.
No.
There was no Alfred Penny.
Al Penny.
Al Penny.
Mm.
Al Penny sounds like a fat guy.
Kind of does, yeah. Yeah. He's not a fat guy.
Penny.
He's not a fat guy, though.
No, he's not. He's Alfred.
Yeah.
So that's it for this book. I don't know. Would you read the next? Well, you're going to probably read the next one.
Well, I have the next issue, so.
Yeah, we have all these.
Yes,
so.
I would.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to read it. I'll get to it. I have to get to all the books. I mean, what's funny is that you have all these Batman and Catwoman books.
I sure do.
And I never pay them any attention.
I know that.
Like, I usually kind of like the older Detective Comics ones. Yeah. Especially if there's also, like, backups in them, if something like that, I'll pay attention to.
Sure.
Like, a lot of those, like, all those Batman, and this, for that matter, the Action Comics with the Supermans, and all those
Those
ones.
are fun, though.
Oh, they're fun. I just... I have all those other, like, obtuse, these other, like, outsider books that I'm
if you're
finding,
bored.
But yeah, I mean,
if the apocalypse comes and we don't have any, like, internet or electricity, we could always just, like, read these by candlelight.
Yeah.
So, we might need entertainment.
Uh-huh.
If we're not, like, running from zombies or whatever.
I'm going to run with all my comics.
Strap them to your back.
Most safe Guy Gardner collection. Glad we saved that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they knock on our door and say, get out, it's burning.
It's true. Yeah.
What are we going to save?
Well.
The comics.
No.
No, they're burning. Sorry.
We're saving the cats and we're running far away from the fire.
Saving the cats and my computer.
Do you think you'd grab the computer?
If I could. It's got my book on it.
Oh, yeah.
But my book is also, I usually email it to myself.
If it's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
Yeah.
So maybe it'd be okay.
Maybe I'll grab the computer.
We gotta save the cats, though.
Oh, the cats. The cats are 100%.
Yeah.
Love the cats. So, wow. We have some really dark shit in this episode.
Well, it's a dark book.
It is a dark book. That's it for this show. Please find us on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Shawn, as well as my other podcast, I Could Talk Kayfabe with Joe Todaro, where this past week we actually did talk about
the game.
The WWE 2K18. Finally talked about that. So also, this actually got released, and you'll have to promote this on my social media, but I was on an episode of a podcast called The Nighttime Show with my friend Stephen Kramer Glickman and comedian Matt Walker, and our guest was Rob Van Dam, pro wrestler Rob Van Dam, RVD from ECW. You know him from there. You know him from WWF. You know him from all these places. He's a comic book guy. He's into weed. He's into all that good. He's all that crazy stuff. All that good stuff. And you can find that on iTunes as well, or Apple Podcasts, The Nighttime Show. Check that out. And by all means, please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We would really appreciate that sort of patronage.
Mm-hmm. And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com and jenstansfield.wordpress.com. And we're on Facebook.
Yes.
Worst Collection Ever. Email us at worstcollectionever.gmail.com. Or I'm sorry, at gmail.com.
Yeah, worstcollectionever@gmail.com. Please send us messages. We don't get any messages.
I like messages.
We would like a few messages. We do get some people interacting with us on the Facebook too, so that's always fun. So keep that up, and we would be very grateful. So thanks for listening, folks, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.